Oh, we're live.
Like we stumbled on being live.
Yeah.
We're accidentally gonna slip and fall into some live.
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna get rid of my
I got
ugly
live
number.
on my shoe. Ew. Anyway.
Well, I guess it's better than you got live 8 on your shoe.
There you go.
All right. For the background, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know how long I'm at it tonight because I think I came down sick again.
Oh, lucky you.
The back of my head and my right eyeball, you know what I mean? Like,
Fun.
I'm just getting the hell beat out of me by my body right now.
Oh.
The back of my head, like where my neck meets, and the front where my eyebrow is, basically it's very
I think I wrote about 5,000 words today.
must be nice.
Oh, it's a lot of writing. It's the kind of writing where you have to get up and walk around for a little bit between every little burst.
I did some critiquing, and I really didn't have much chance for a whole lot of writing, which sucks because I've been kind of critiquing somebody's stuff, and you know how that gets the juices flowing sometimes. Specifically.
Yeah. So what are we doing tonight?
Oh, well, the intent is to get her light source right.
Good.
And to throw in some of the background here.
Okay.
And I went to the old favorites for the background. Like looking at some Star Wars references because I can't afford 7,000 models to slap shit together to see how it looks. More is the pity, right?
That'd be kind of cool.
Oh, yeah.
Oh. I should not be sleepy because I took a nap today.
Oh, and that's another thing too. I'm all kinds of tired.
Yeah.
I didn't get to sleep much last night. I was up reading that stupid book. Well, it's not a stupid book, but the one that I was talking about has got kind of the sense of humor like I do, but I'd probably get my channel struck if I told you what the jokes were.
Okay.
Ultimately, it's a mystery.
Okay.
But it's a kind of crotchety near retirement cop.
That doesn't sound cliched at all.
It's not, but only because the character is a really strong character.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not just that he's a crotchety near retirement cop. He's on his second wife, and she's much younger, and she's a Fed, and they both work for the anti-terrorist division in New York. But so the whole book is based on a true story, the investigation of TWA Flight 800
Yeah.
that went down in over New York. So there was a big mystery on how and why it went down.
Mm-hmm.
And they explained it off like it was an accidental thing, but 200 witnesses saw a streak of light hit that plane, like rise and hit that plane. Like 200 separate witnesses that hadn't talked to each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Saw the same thing. So it wasn't like mass illusion or whatever. They weren't, all going, hey, look at that. They were in separate places. But it's a question of whether or not there was a cover up. Like if it was a terrorist attack or whatever it was. But almost nobody really believed that it was an accident. And this cop, his wife, was one of the people that were investigating it. And basically, she asks him to look into it. And he does. And within like a week, they're in deep shit because he was investigating it. But what he found out is that all of the evidence that would show what was going on was confiscated. And it was put in the division that he couldn't look at. Mm. And, it's like if he's part of that same team, you would think that, if they found any new evidence, they'd want to know, right?
Right.
Instead, they're trying to cover up what possible evidence there is. And in the beginning of the book, I mean, he says in his thanks that some people were helpful with this book because it's based on real. Pretty much everything is real as far as the procedures, the investigation, the official investigation, and all that. And there were people that helped him, and then people that helped him that didn't want to be on record.
Yeah.
So it's there's a lot of things that are really suspect in it, which is what makes it not the cliche rundown cop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he's living in an apartment with a younger second wife, and there's an added bit of danger because who he's dealing with, their idea of stopping him from investigating is to send him to Yemen in the middle of Al Qaeda attacks on Yemen, and send his wife to Tanzania in the middle of Al Qaeda attacks on Tanzania, right? So it's a little bit different because he's trying to investigate stuff, and the people that should be on his team don't like him because he's not a team player. Because he's not just accepting whatever was said. And it's interesting because his personality is very much like mine in that he's told to stay away from this case, but he was never interested in this case until somebody told him to stay the fuck away from it, right? Like, wait a minute, why are you telling me this? And then, then his wife asked him to look into it, And the more that they tried to stop him or the more that they try to punish him or whatever, the more it's fuel for him to do, continue on with his quest. So it's almost, also the trope of the ex-cop that's a PI.
Yeah.
It's like he's not a PI, but he's been offered work that's very similar to that, doing background checks. He was also nearly killed by a terrorist. So there's a lot of factors in it that make it different than just your normal crotchety old cop. But what I like about him is the personality in the crotchety old cop, because it's definitely a unique character. And it's told in first person too, so you get the immediacy of being pretty much in his head. And the way he phrases some things, actually, and that's another interesting thing too, is that he's an unreliable narrator. Because like he'll start off like the scene before, it was like he'd fight with his wife, and then the next thing that he starts off with is, I came home and she was in a small teddy in the kitchen, and all the clothes I left on the living room floor were cleaned up, and she was cooking my favorite meal, and there was a bottle of beer on the counter. And then he's like, but that's not really what happened.
Okay.
So you know that there's things about it that's unreliable, But the interesting thing is that all of his investigation, the stuff that he's investigating, is all true. So have you figured out what's going on in this scene?
No, not that particular scene. I mean, it's kind of like the one I wrote, but slightly different. I thought you wanted that for more of a splash page.
Oh yeah, but a splash page is still a freeze frame of a scene. Every page in a comic book is basically either a scene or a part of a scene. Like you're taking still photos of what's going on. You done any research for this type of storytelling? I mean, other than remembering comics that you've read?
I went through and I was trying to find more stuff about formatting for scripts, and a lot of stuff. It's nowhere near as formatted as, say, fiction submissions or script writing even.
Yeah,
all
it's
those
kind of a
strips.
combination, though. I mean, it's like a loose form of uh, screenwriting.
Yeah, but it doesn't have the heart. Like there is no Shun manuscript,
Right, because
format.
there's no single hard rule. They have uh, you're talking about format, and there's no hard rule for the format. I can give you uh, a link to where you can actually look at a bunch of comic manuscripts, and you'll see how different each approach is. Like I can also send you the examples that I was sent, but um, I did a lot of research before writing anything comic wise, and it's very true that there's not one set standard. There's not like um, there's not a short story standard or long fiction type format standard. Uh, some of some of them write it like it's a movie script. Some of them write it really loosely. Like some comic writers just write the dialogue, and they're not even telling you how many panels or how many pages or whatever. Some of the more famous ones, it was really strange for me to see that. But like I said, if you look at Alan Moore's scripts, they are very, very detailed, and they're almost like a novel for each comic book. Like I'm sure that it's like the whole story arc, but it's really crazy how like he'll describe what's in the scene, and he wants it drawn the way he describes it, like every little bit. And comic books are usually collaboration, because the artist will know sometimes what will work better or not so well on the page, whereas the writer is seeing it as a story as a whole, not as in freeze frames of the action. It's just that the manuscript in comic book writing can best be thought of as clear communication. So there's certain things that there's certain camera angles that are common. There are certain like if you want a close up, extreme close up, and an extreme close up is not your face, it's probably just the eyes, or just a grin, or someone squeezing something in their hand or something like that. It's kind of particular because that's how you use an extreme close-up, right? You're using it for effect.
Right.
So there's a list of things, the shots like upshot or bird's eye view or mouse eye view or Dutch angle or something like that. But a lot of that stuff, you can leave that to the artist to come up with how he's showing it. Or you can try to direct it, but the more you try to direct it, the more directing you do, the harder you're going to be on the artist. You're not going to give him the freedom to add whatever he can into it. So it's really a matter of communication, and you don't have to describe your panels in depth. You only describe the panels that really, are really important to you, that you want to see a certain specific way, or for dramatic effect, they have to kind of be done in that specific way. You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, the writer is the writer and half of the director. The artist is the cinematographer, the costume designer, unless you're saying, oh, he has to have a belt because he's, holds this or that on the belt, then for the most part, the artist decides whether or not this is important to show or whether it's going to be useful, unless it's something directly in the plot or in the script, or a utilitarian thing they're going to use later, like a Chekhov's gun type of thing. And that's the other reason for, getting descriptive with certain parts of the panels, is if you've got a Chekhov's gun type of thing, then we need to see it, right?
Right.
Yeah, if you want, I will send you like a link so that you can check out a whole bunch of different people's
Well, it'd
formats.
make me feel more confident.
What I have discovered through my research is that each publishing house, like Dark Horse and Marvel and
Right.
DC, have their own kind of basic standard that they want, but they really will accept anything that communicates what they're supposed to. I was fooled. I thought there was really comments.
Sorry. It's all me. No, I figured I'd put somebody's watching, and we welcome you. So I just thought I would, hey, it's Aaron.
Way to go, Bret.
I thought I'd elicit some kind of comment. I did. I was successful. Oh, yeah, I think it's funny. The short story that I was working on, I said how I got to about 2,000 words real fast, and then it took forever to get to 3,000 words. And I said, well, once I hit 3,000 words, it's going to explode. I said it'll just boom. And then, when you messaged me on Discord if I was coming, I was finishing up on a section, and I checked the word count, and I'm just shy of 8,000 words. I was like, oh, that definitely jumped up there.
Well, there you go.
That's another one of those unwritten rules for writers of the future, where some judges say they want it shorter, and some judges say they want it longer, because if it's longer, it means it's closer to a novel, which means you're more ready to be a writer. And I'm like, okay.
That's so weird, because I've always been told that the longer it is, the chances are that it's more fluff.
Well, I agree, but I've heard both from the judges, and it's just and I've looked at the numbers, and I'm just like, there's really no and I'm pretty certain, because I've done proofreading for them. I think there was at least one story that was over the word limit. So I was like, okay, that's weird. So unless I want to submit the story that I don't think I want to submit, because I don't think it's really right for the market, I got to finish this thing. Ugh. And I'm hoping I'm at least halfway done.
I don't know if we're going to have a Thursday show because, like I said, there's a nor'easter coming Wednesday. And from what I hear, we're really going to get hit. So.
Oh, yeah? I thought that was for today.
Nope.
Okay, well, that's good.
Wednesday. So it will affect Thursdays.
We opened up windows today. So.
Oh, yeah, it was nice today. But it's still going to snow and sleet and spit and shit on us Wednesday.
Fantastic. Another good reason to not live in the Northeast.
Once again, every place you go has its detractions.
That's true.
They all have benefits and they all have detractions.
I always thought it was funny because when we moved to Las Vegas, I was kind of surprised at how much I missed the different seasons. Because you basically have like ungodly heat and then a little bit of cold and rain. That's like those are your three seasons. Like I swear in August it rains like every single day. And it floods every single day.
Well, when I lived in Florida, I was walking home from the store and stepped over a baby rattler. Never had that problem in Maine.
That's true.
You know what I mean? There's black bears in Maine, but you really don't see them attacking people. It's a rarity for that to happen. But I mean, there's badgers and other critters, but when I lived in North Carolina, there was black widow season.
Yeah.
There were brown recluses all around. There were mud puppies you had to worry about stepping on, but it snowed it was cold for 2 weeks out of a year.
Right.
It might have one ice storm, but for the rest of it, it wasn't. So I always say, like, every place that I've lived has had something.
Well, yeah.
Something good and something bad. Like, Maine is, as far as the craziness of the rest of the country,
yeah,
probably lower on the list of all that other crap because it's pretty much more rural. It's a decent place to raise kids because it's more rural.
Aaron said we're supposed to get snow Wednesday too. We'll probably end up getting more snow in the spring than we do in the winter. I swear.
Is the music on? Because I can't hear it.
I don't know. Let me check. Because no, it's not playing. Okay.
Okay, I gotta pick something else again. Are you turning it up and down?
I was trying, yeah.
If you scroll over the
play.
Waves,
I see it.
Yeah. So I turned it down to a certain point, but I hit the one that I hit again, and
The
I thought
incompetent,
there was-
like,
Yeah,
okay.
that's the
Well, let's thinking about it.
heroic. Both of them are longer and shorter versions of the more metal-y mix.
Oh.
So. I'm not going to be surprised if both of us get hit, because that would just be poetically correct.
Okay, that's weird.
Are you talking about your plants again?
Yeah.
You turned them around, didn't you? So she started this planter
Yeah, there it is.
where, like, it's less than a week old, and she started these like beans and stuff, and like 2 days ago they were like this.
Okay.
Now they're like this.
Just popped the lid off yesterday.
Yeah, they popped the lid off of it yesterday, and like she's got them set in a window and it's like the kitchen window, but it's also by the kitchen sink where there's a light that we leave on.
Yeah.
So when the sun goes down, they start leaning towards the kitchen sink light.
Tomorrow this is going to be their kitchen.
Right? We're going to be looking for a giant to come down the beanstalk.
You got some of those Jack's beans. Pumpkins all open up.
Why did I just picture Dave Chappelle when he did that? Give me some of those Jack's beans.
No, they're more of those. Yeah, they started growing leaves. Cucumbers look good.
And that's the agricultural report.
Okay.
And they're after the weather. Got a nor'easter coming next week.
No, we already had the weather. Brett was just saying that
I don't think we're getting a nor'easter in Indiana.
one of his friends said that they were due some snow too. Yeah, I wasn't going to say a nor'easter because you probably don't get nor'easters because you're in the Midwest, not the Northeast.
That's right.
Kind of a little bit more difficult to get those nor'easters.
Yeah, something has to go drastically wrong if we get one.
Yeah, like, you know, if you were living in the UP or something, then you could get nor'easters from Lake Michigan.
Yeah, we just get lake effect.
Yeah.
That's what we get. Lake effect snow.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I lived there a long time, not very far from that lake.
Ugh.
My stepdad's parents lived literally right off Lake Michigan. They had access to the beach.
Cool.
Ready for Monday? Got
No.
anxiety issues over it?
No, I am not ready for Monday. But it'll be what it is. That's like if I don't get the story done by tomorrow night. Oh well, I will go on. Ugh. Like if I don't get something done by tomorrow night, I'll submit the other story just, because might as well. But yeah.
I don't know if I could do that. Submit a story that I was pretty sure wasn't going to win so that I could wait as long as you have to wait to find out you're going to win.
I don't like the idea of self-rejection. I mean, it's
Except for
technically...
like, you already did that. You're already like, yeah, that's the story that's not going to win.
Well... Doesn't... Yeah.
Like, I'm on your side, so...
Oh, I know.
But it's... If you know you're not going to win, then...
Well, to be fair, I thought the last story was going to do a hell of a lot better than it did. So, what do I know?
Well, yeah, thinking it'll do better, that's always answered with a slap in the face.
Well, for it to do as badly as it did, I mean, they did badly. I'm like, you guys are crazy. This is a good story.
Right.
I need to shop
that's
that
an
one
argument
out.
for.
And the story that I'm currently working on isn't bad either. Although I think it might fit better with the parameters.
Many times as I went over this, you would think that the lines would be clear. Some of them are not so much. Unfortunately, I've got to take more and more breaks because the chair that I'm sitting in keeps losing altitude, and then I have to lean on my arm that's not doing well. I have an issue with the shoulder trying to dislocate itself because my bicep tendon's trying to pull it out of socket. And that's the arm I'm leaning on because I'm drawing with the other. Which, you know, wouldn't be a show if I was drawing with the arm that has that issue. Or it would be a show, but there would be no art to show for it.
Just sounds like he's throwing things out there.
He's not. He's got this bag.
Yeah.
Right now. Yeah, he's giving the cat treats.
He's in for ton.
So he's got a resealable bag of cat treats.
Vi ska komma hem och over the whole thing.
Yes, I know you ate all the Reese's cups already.
We're making that. No Batman? What
I
else?
love it. What are you making, Dad? Not Batman?
We're making girl. That's son.
Yes, it's a girl.
You make it? Right?
Yeah,
Oh my god, how long there?
almost done.
How long?
Well, I don't know. Wow.
Hear my song. Headphone on.
Oh, that would be good. Because if you play your song without your headphones on, my channel will get struck. And it will be over something I hate.
Never my day. Month. Month.
Because his jams are like Kids Bop.
Yeah, my song car. Her phone.
Yeah.
Her phone. A couple of times. He sang.
Oh.
Mom, can your car? Can you here?
Oh, mom's phone.
Can you here?
Yeah,
You're right. Can you go?
we don't really see eye to eye on music either, do we?
No.
She likes a vaster range, but lately she's taken to the stuff that makes me want to puke.
I'm always kind of shocked. Like, have you heard the new Beyonce country
Nope.
song? So, the only reason I've heard it is because it like instantly popped up in like on Facebook Reels and in YouTube Shorts, and it's just like, how, like, do they hire people to do these dances and make these videos so that it all comes out all at once? Because it just seems like a full court press of publicity And I'm just like, okay, whatever. Like I've only
It could
heard
be.
the
It could be.
introduction.
Could also be a. Could also be a contest that she's sponsoring, or her record label sponsoring, or whatever.
I don't know. I thought it was interesting. Like I've only heard the first, I don't know, like 10, 15 seconds because that's all they show in the videos, and just like, and there's like a ton of them. I'm just like,
Yeah, there's pretty much nowadays. There's pretty much a need to go viral with any music that you're trying to sell
I just,
because it's so easy to just steal music. You know,
yeah,
and unfortunately, I mean, there's a lot of good musicians that aren't getting paid what they should get paid because the paradigm has changed. Well, a lot of people that are making money without record companies,
right. Well, I don't know. I thought it was interesting how quickly stuff. It's not that great. I mean, okay, it's got Beyonce attached to it, but other than that, I'm like, all right, not going to be in my top 10 list, but okay.
Yeah, I'm not a Beyonce fan, so.
I can't say I'm on Beyonce fan either, but I was like, all right, whatever. I mean, I get people like her, whatever.
Okay.
I just, yeah, I'm like, all right.
People liked Whitney Houston too. I didn't listen to her.
Yeah.
I heard The Greatest Love way too many times, but other than that,
yeah.
somebody could probably name a song I recognize, but I couldn't. And she went to my mom's high school.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Not that that means anything, but like it has an attachment, I guess.
Right.
Like both Bon Jovi and Skid Row. They're from the city next to my hometown.
Okay.
It's like literally the next city over. I'm from the Amboys, and they're from Sayreville. Sayreville is right next to South Amboy. And I lived in South Amboy, but I was born in Perth Amboy because Perth Amboy had a hospital, had a maternity ward. South Amboy didn't. But, it's just interesting side note, Does it mean anything? No. Like, there's a few Bon Jovi songs that I like or know or whatever, but I'm not going to be running right out going to one of his concerts or whatever just because he's from nearby. Overkill's from New Jersey. I'd much more likely be seen at an Overkill concert. That's going to be interesting now, though. Overkill is getting a new bass player.
Okay.
Well, so Overkill's bass player, Dee Verney, wrote most of Overkill's songs.
Mm.
And if you listen to the more popular ones, they're really, really bass heavy and really, really bass riffy. Well, he's going to be replaced by David Ellison from Megadeth.
Okay.
Because the bass player for Megadeth now is the guy who played bass for White Lion.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember his last name. He played bass for a lot of different people, so like don't make a judgment call based on White Lion. Also, he had played bass for Megadeth before, but what's his name? James something, right? James. James Lamendo. And he's from Brooklyn. He played with White Lion, Megadeth, Black Label Society, Lynch Mob, Slash's Snake Pit, Dio Disciples, or Dio on the album Disciples, David Lee Roth Band. So, like I said, he's played his way around. It's kind of disappointing to not see Dave Ellison in Megadeth, and especially the reason that he's not in Megadeth. And it's not because of the accusations that he was grooming or whatever. It's because he didn't go to a meeting and let Dave Mustaine decide what he should do about it. He took his lawyer's advice and confronted it straight on. I don't think, with what Dave Mustaine has done in the past, that he's got the right to finger him for anything, He's done some pretty crazy shit himself. And Dave Ellison has been there in Megadeth as long as Dave Mustaine has. I guess it's one of those things for me. It's like a loyalty issue, and it really shouldn't be, because if it's not, if it's Dave Mustaine's band, then Dave Mustaine has the right to hire and fire whoever he wants, right? But
I suppose
it's just really, well, it's the same thing as Anthrax replacing Joey Belladonna with John Bush. Yeah, I mean, there were some songs that were good with John Bush, but Joey Belladonna helped them form their sound and get the public place that they were, right?
Right.
So it kind of feels like it was a small betrayal to dump him for a different lead singer because it was the 90s and they wanted a grunge sound. It's just weird stuff for me. It's kind of like, that's one of the things I admire about Rush, is how they, instead of them just finding another new drummer, they were like, yeah, we can't play without him. We're not Rush without him. So, like, although that might be changing, there was a significant period that they said, we're not Rush without him, right?
Right.
And Geddy still gets emotional when he talks about him. So, it's like, there's a huge amount of loyalty there. But it's a three-piece band. They were like three brothers, right? I guess that's what I figured with bands, is like you would be brothers, you'd be chosen. Like, this is the family I chose, not something that was pushed on me, right?
Right.
I don't know. I'm also a fan, so I don't know all the behind the scenes stuff. I know what's been made available to see.
I know Rush has decided. I mean, there supposedly are talks that they're contemplating getting a different drummer. I just don't know how that would.
Yeah, that's what they say. I think they were talking about Danny Carey.
Right, and that might
Um,
work.
Well, there's a lot of drummers that could fill his shoes. Like, don't get me wrong, they could never be him, but they could play what he's played, and they could be as talented. They are as talented, as skilled. There's forever I'm saying there's a difference between talent and skill. I know a lot of artists don't like being called talented because it implies that they didn't work for it. You know what I mean? It was just God's
Yeah.
gift, but we all work for it. But like Danny Carey could do it. Like Portney from Dream Theater could do it. And like when they teased that they're in talks with a different drummer, they never really specified which drummer. They
Right.
just said it was a known drummer.
Right.
But that's kind of what I was just saying is like, how long have they been? Like, what has it been? Almost 10 years now?
No. 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 No.
Well, I know it's been a couple of years.
Yeah. Let's see. It's been 4.
4, okay. So almost 5 years. That's when you get to be their age, that's a sacrifice in itself to honor him. But since he died or since they performed, you know what I mean?
Oh, since he died, which I think is even longer.
Yeah, and it's I guess I was conflating both of them, but it's the since they performed part because they stopped performing when they knew that he had those issues.
Well, when he couldn't perform the way he felt like he should, yeah.
He wanted some time. Like, I know Kevin J. Anderson knew him personally, was friends with him. And Kevin and Getty and pretty much those guys all said that he was very private and wanted to keep that to himself, but he had things that he wanted to wrap up too. You know what I mean? He had things that he wanted to take care of that he couldn't do while he was touring. So it's not necessarily just his performance. I think what they did was they let out a rumor. I think Getty was talking about it on something I was watching, that they let out a rumor that he was arthritic in his elbows and couldn't play up to the quality that he was or something like that. But that wasn't true. It was his the cancer. And that sucks, you know? Every time I think about it, it's like that really sucks. Like I see a lot of a lot of movie stars dying, you know, that I watched when I was a kid.
Right.
I see a lot of even people that I knew that I've watched in the rock and roll or metal industry or whatever, they're dying. And like I was hit harder by his death than a lot of other people's deaths. So it's like really strange how much that affected me, but he had so much personality and he kept so much guarded. You know, it was like he wasn't fake humble, he was real humble. Although he was almost every drummer's hero, right? He never wanted to talk shop like that.
I had a student who he was in band, played the drums, and I asked him about Rush once, and he's just like, "That band is stupid." And I was like, "What?" He goes, "Yeah, it's so complex. Like, why would you make it that hard?" And I just had to kind of laugh. I was like, "Okay." So,
yeah.
I suppose because if you have pride in what you do, you're gonna push yourself.
Well, you know how long Neil Peart was called like the shit. I'm trying to think of the word. It's the pacemaker, the thing that starts with it's like mono or
The metronome?
yeah, metronome. He was called the human metronome for a long time because he could keep that really, really steady beat and it could keep it the same every time. And that's why he ended up going to other mentors to get a more organic sound. And like the dude was so awesome that they were like, he's a drum machine. And he's all like, no, I want to be a drum human being. Yeah, I heard a few interviews, actually not all that long ago, that I was watching Geddy Lee make appearances on a number of shows, and he was either talking about like his experiences with Neil Peart or like the audition with Neil Peart. And he told the story of the audition, of his audition, and he had brought all his drum parts in plastic bags. So he comes into the studio with all these plastic bags. And they listened to him play for like just a couple of minutes, and Geddy was like, "That's the guy." And Alex was all like, I thought we were going to wait and not make any decisions until we heard everybody.
Nope.
And the irony is that Alex is the smartass, right?
Right.
Yeah, I love the fact that Neil wrote most of the lyrics too. You know, that once
Yeah,
they
that's
heard that he was wide widely read, they preferred him to. What's that?
well, that's actually why I was worried about them trying to, because you can replace the the musician,
Yeah,
but
the drummer, but not the songwriter, right?
yeah, that's the part that it's like, okay. And I get that Alex and Getty were the ones that generally wrote the music, but the lyrics were also really amazing normally. And so you got to find someone, or they got to
And
step up more. And
that's exactly what I was saying about Overkill earlier. That the bass player, he's the one that like wrote wrote most of the musical melodies and wrote most of the lyrics. So like all the really great songs that and I was an Overkill fan, like diehard Overkill fan for a long, long time. And knowing that he wrote most of those lyrics and he's going to be replaced by Dave Ellefson, I don't know how much Dave Ellefson is a songwriter, you know?
right,
Like I know he did Dawn Patrol, but I think actually he just wrote the music for that. So have you seen any responses to whether or not anyone likes the content?
no, I'm not, unless they're putting it on after we get done streaming.
Nope, I don't get any alerts from it, and usually YouTube alerts when they comment on that.
Yeah,
And I don't think you can comment on them on Twitch afterwards. I might be wrong about that, but I don't think so.
ugh,
You all right?
yeah, I'm just can't stay awake. Ugh, and you're not boring me. That's not the problem. I think it's because today's my first day. Let's see. Today's Saturday. Yeah, today's the first day without prednisone. So I don't know if
I
that's
don't know what that is for sure.
the steroid. They put me on it after Sunday's excursion to the ER. So,
Oh yeah.
yeah. So I don't know if that's I'm just coming down off of that or not. Because, as fun as that was, I prefer not to be on the prednisone.
Yeah. I prefer that you don't have to go to the ER.
Well, I prefer that too. But I wasn't going to go. That's all my wife's fault.
Well, better going with your wife than in an ambulance, right?
I suppose. I would never, from my house to the hospital, I don't know why you would never take an ambulance. Unless you couldn't get my body to the car. Because,
Right. That's kind of what I'm saying. Like that better she drive you than a stranger drive you.
Yeah, but could have just gone to the urgent care. But urgent care probably isn't going to have the X-ray tech. And if they don't have an X-ray tech, they send it to the ER anyway. So I get it. Ugh.
Yeah, so if I do this in black and white, it would be different than if I do it in color. And I'm not just stating the obvious there. What I'm saying is that the light source here and then the light source on here, I'd have to actually paint it, I think. That way, I mean, I could leave the light source in between the plates, just whatever paper color. But if I did, because the chitin is supposed to be reflective, but like a black reflective armor, then I'd have to paint the grays, the dark grays, that where the light is hitting the black armor.
Okay.
Because if not, it wouldn't be as cleanly readable.
Got it.
Well, you know, like the last stream, that was the first time we ever discussed at all doing this in black and white or color, you know.
That's true. Thought that was kind of up to you, though. I mean, I don't know how much work you want to do on it.
Well,
I always
you said I thought it was going to be black and white, and like I didn't say anything to indicate that to my knowledge.
Well, I was just trying to limit how much work you had to do. That's all.
Well, I guess what I'm saying is I hadn't thought about it until you mentioned that. Now I'm thinking about it, and I'm thinking, do I want to do color or do I want to do black and gray? I like black and gray as a look. I like noir as a look, but I don't know how black and gray would be as a look, given the genre that we're writing in, or telling a story in. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Like I'm curious myself as to how this is going to turn out. Like, because my thoughts originally were I'm just penciling and inking what's going to be colored later on, because that's just the way you do it with a comic book. But you're right. I mean, it could be a black and white comic book. If so, then I need to rethink the storytelling elements and how I'm going to present them, because you're stuck with a certain number of values, and because of your value limits, your composition will change, because you need to make it readable and you need to make sacrifices to what's real, to what's realistic or leans realistic, in order for there to be readability. And you'll see that really well done with the Sin City comic, because he literally simplified things that he would normally be throwing shades in with feathering lines or with cross-hatching lines, and just whited them out entirely, leaving white silhouettes against black silhouettes. And it really helped tell the story. So now I need to think about that too on top of it. It's like, if I was going to simplify this, then how would I do it? Because you're not going to have all these grades and like to a degree, but I don't know if that makes it more of a challenge or not, more work actually or not.
Oh well.
But I I'm not afraid of a challenge. And thinking about it, like I was also telling you, like one of my biggest influences is John Buscema. And John Buscema did Savage Sword of Conan in black and white, and I loved it.
Well, a lot of it comes down to how much work you're going to. I mean, to me, it's whatever you're most comfortable with, I guess. I mean,
Maybe.
Well, I mean, I can't. I don't. It'd be like you telling me what program I have to use to type up my script. No, I'm going to use whatever I want.
No, it's more like I'd be telling you what font that you had to use.
Okay, which would also be. I mean, whatever, but
Well,
it's easier to change my
sometimes they
font than
do,
it
right?
is. Yeah.
Sometimes they do tell you what font you have to use.
Oh, I
And
know.
it's the same thing. Like if you're drawing a color comic book or drawing a black and white comic book, that's your limitations. You got to figure it out. I know Rob Hunter is doing his Death Raider. He's doing it in color, but he's drawing it in black and white, and then going over it with some digitals. And he's got a black and white version and a color version coming out. So that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, but now I'm starting to think pretty hard about doing it in black and white.
Well, it's
Like that wasn't my intention originally. So now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like,
I don't have a preference.
I wonder what's that.
I don't have a preference. So I mean,
Well, so what I'm thinking is, ironically, I'm thinking what you normally think. Like, what is the more commercially viable? Because
you know,
a lot of people just expect color comics nowadays. They don't expect it to be black and white comics.
okay.
But I really like the appeal of it because I really like black and white comics. But I just wasn't thinking about it, so now I'm thinking I have to think about it.
Okay.
And see, the ironic thing about that is the Alpha,
Yeah.
which is the other one I wanted to do as a graphic novel. Alpha, I imagine in noir, so that would be perfect for black and white. It's more of a crime story.
Oh. Well,
When I think about black and white comics and I think about John Buscema, I always kind of lean towards Alfredo Alcala's inking, and I really like the textures that he got. You know who I'm talking about?
no. I'd have to look it up. Your knowledge of various artists is way more than mine. Which kind of makes sense,
Well,
based on our career choices.
I will show you an example.
Okay.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to find the prime example, but there's one I love to see every single time because I can just stare at it. And that's it for me. That's what real art is something that makes you stare at it, whether you're disturbed or whether you like it. All right. Share. Present. And
Or not.
nope.
There we go.
No. In all of this detail,
Yeah.
it's all cross-hatching by pen nib, or by brush. Because you couldn't just do grays and stuff in those days, so the clouds are brush strokes. And look, all the texture he gets in this rock or in the ruins back here. Let's see if I can find. Yeah, like that's what I think of. I mean, Alfredo Alcala had such a deep pool of textures that he could draw on. Ernie Chan did too, but Ernie Chan was kind of sloppier.
Okay.
He's the one most known, I guess, for inking John Buscema's work, because he did it for such a long time on Conan, and then he ended up taking over Conan for a while. Yeah, see, like even the light is made from textures, strokes of the pen, the bricks, and if you look at the bricks, the way that they're shadowed and the way that they're rendered, the strokes go towards the light. So like these bricks go up and down, and these bricks at an angle. But it also draws your eye to the torch that Conan's holding.
That's interesting. There's a triangle there.
Oh, there's all kinds of triangles.
Yeah, but
Triangle here, triangle here, triangle here.
I just like that you have the skeleton's hand coming up. That's one corner. The skeleton head is the other corner. Then Conan's head is the top corner. Again,
Yep.
it is a strong triangle.
Yeah, and then you can invert it where it's Conan's head, that hand, and then the villain's head.
Yeah.
And the perspective of that wall, that's a triangle.
Yeah.
The torches the the chain here and the webbings. It's all set up pretty much for triangles. These that are popping up, they're all triangle formation. It's called triangle theme, and Frazetta made that a big deal. Frazetta loved the triangle themes, and you can find those motifs in his work all over the place in Frazetta's work. But really, what I was pointing out was the textures that Alfredo Alcala got while leading your eyes with contrast. One page that I love that used to pop up like every time I look. Now I can't seem to see it. Maybe I scrolled up instead of down for a second. Tony D. Zuniga is another artist that a lot of people like that in Buscema. I don't think his stuff has the same character to its textures. I have all this stuff saved, but it's on an external hard drive. Because, when I need it, it's not there. Let me give it just another second. Let's see if I can see it. So easy to go down a rabbit hole with this stuff. Because, like I said, I can just stare at it and stare at it. Yeah, I guess I'm going to have to give it up for now. Yeah, so that's what I'm thinking is if I'm going to do this in black and white, if it's going to be a black and white comic, I'm going to have to do some of that kind of stuff.
Well, I don't know which is harder.
Which is more work because it's more lines and textures and cross-hatching and, feathering lines.
And go color,
instead of relying on the colors. Hey, I'm just saying, this is where I'm going. Okay. It's not a matter of more or less work. It's a matter of what's going to look really, really good. In the end, it's about how good it looks because, you take pride in your work, but more than that, you want something that's a really sellable product. And now that I'm thinking about it, I would really enjoy doing work like that.
Okay.
That's what got me into comic books is work like that. And there's a lot of different ways to represent a story being told. Just like there's a lot of ways to tell the same story, right?
Right.
Like you can tell the same story with prose from a number of different points of view, and each point of view has its own lens, right? Well, that's the same thing as black and gray versus color. It's a different lens, and it's interesting because it's kind of a dying breed. You don't see that much anymore. Like I said, Rob Hunter is the only one I know of right now. They did Batman black and white, I guess, and that would be pretty much the same thing, but it's definitely not the equivalent of that kind of work. And that's what really makes me want to do it. I'm like, oh, I would love to do that kind of work. Of course, to be honest, I would love to meet an Alfredo Ocala.
Yeah.
If I could pencil and let them, ink. And inkers don't make as much as pencilers, and his work makes a case for inkers being equal. I also think Richard Friend is really good too. He's got a comic out that's going to be a crowdfunded comic called Blaster Kid, and every time he releases a page, I'm like, damn, that's just so good. And he's a really good guy too. I mean, he's like, he's always showing whose art inspires him. He's on his YouTube channel. It's like, it's Super Fun Sunday. So like every Sunday, he dives into a comic that he really loves. Like, I don't know if Kelsey's on that show anymore because he's been on quite a few other like comic skate shows. So, and Richard Friend is not, he's comic skate adjacent. He's not involved with comic skate, to my knowledge. But to my knowledge also, he doesn't hold anything against them.
Yeah.
Which is the best way to be, right? If you're not going to be for the production of new material all the way around, then just don't be against them, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
okay, that's my opinion. So I'm just putting that out there. I always appreciate the guys that don't shit talk anyone that they don't necessarily, want to get involved with.
Well, yeah, I think Orson Scott Card's right about that. With, if you don't like something, just keep your mouth shut about it. Like, there's no reason why give him publicity. I mean, in a way, Eric July talks about that with his ideas of, monetize your haters. That's kind of what he does. He's got people talking about him, and that creates more buzz for his product. And then, I mean, I get it, but I don't think you necessarily need to be drumming up. You don't have to do that for someone else. But that's just me. I'd rather figure, you know what, if I'm doing my thing and people are enjoying it, cool. That doesn't take away from anybody else. So therefore, they can do their thing.
And that's kind of what I was saying, is that, like, he's a very live and let live guy. Like, I've never seen him pick an artist and talk shit about him at all, ever. Like, every time I've seen him talk about an artist, it's always in good light. And he's a hell of a good artist himself. So I guess to me that means something. Like some people are in it for themselves. Clearly they're in it for themselves. And some people are in it to help other people get as close to their goals as they want to while they're doing it, right?
Right.
And to me, that latter is the more admirable, which is what I'm trying to emulate.
What the heck?
Skipping around again?
Oh, I don't know what was going on. Something popped up, and I don't understand why. So. I was
Something what?
confused. A thing from Internet Explorer popped up. I don't know. It was just weird. I don't know what caused it. I don't know. It's very odd. That's all. And now it's gone. Yeah. I don't know if I hit something on accident or what. It's all right. It's all on my end. It's not you.
Right. So. All right. So here is Richard Friend is Batman. This is just black and white, you know, so
Well, doesn't help when everything's frozen up on my end.
oh, you can't see it?
Let me see if I can help that along. Because my computer's freezing.
Well, I don't know. Let's do his Daredevil. These are ones that he's done recently and posted up.
Yeah.
You can see gray wash in this. Still impressive though, right?
I literally, I can't see anything. My
Well,
computer's running so slowly. I've been frozen on this screen for quite some time. I'm gonna have to get out and come back in. Let me try resetting, and I'll be back in a minute.
all right.
Let's see if it'll let me reset. Hey, Lord.
Okay, next strength up. Oh no, Bret's having power problems tonight.
Oh, no.
He just froze up and had some stuff happen. So, hopefully, everything's good.
Okay, now I'm back.
All right.
I said I was back before I was back.
You said you were back before you were back?
Yeah, I wasn't on stage. I was behind stage. That's interesting. There it is. It's like I don't hear the music. But at least you're generally moving now. Oh, dear God, I'm frozen again.
Huh. You are frozen. Either that or you're holding very still. I can hear you moving.
I'm not frustrated at all. Well,
I did for a minute.
Twitch never likes it when I'm running Twitch and StreamYard at the same time. I'm gonna see if that speeds things up, but my goodness, I mean, I'm like so bad.
Yeah, skip Twitch. I'd rather have you as a co-host. Keeps freezing up with you looking different directions. It's like you're trying to pose.
I don't know what I'm like. I don't know why. Like it's just.
You're roboting. I hear part of you saying something and then freezes up.
That's a gorgeous pose.
Huh?
I don't know. This thing is just. Oh. I'm getting.
Well, saving this other one for when you're not frozen, but I think probably I'll share it, and then if you need to, you can go back and check it out after.
Oh God. Well, I actually saw that. I shut off everything else that I was working on. And now StreamYard, like, it's, oh, God. Like, I had to shut down everything.
Well, that stinks.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the hell? Like, I didn't have that much open to begin with.
Is it storming in your area?
Not that I can tell. No, it says it's 49 degrees and clear. I may have just deleted all of my work.
Oh no.
Oh, 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 oh. Okay. Let's pray to the gods of revision history. Yeah. Yeah. That was. Dear God, Google's like too much for it. It keeps telling me that Google's too much. Oh. Yeah, it's telling me that my Google Doc is slowing down Firefox. Ah.
Might be Firefox.
Yeah, I know.
I actually stopped using Firefox a while ago because it kept getting viruses and shit. Of course, that was a long time ago. I don't know how they are now.
I guess StreamYard will be the only thing I run. Because literally that's
Well,
the
that's
only
so-
thing that it will let me run. Dear God.
Your friend Eat the Cat's messaging you.
Well, I'm back. See how long it lasts.
You see, you got a message?
What, from Aaron?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see it anymore, but interesting. Well, that's running better now. We'll see how long it lasts. Because now it's not lagging. God, that was terrible. Of course, the only thing I have Twitch running now, but that's it. Twitch and StreamYard. I suppose I'll worry about the writing when I'm done with the stream. Ugh. Wow, now we have 3 viewers. So whoever the new one is, welcome to the Gordox Pub.
Don't scare them off. They just got here.
Okay.
You're just watching. You're not talking.
Sorry. I was enthralled. Plus, I'm trying to figure out why in the heck everything's being slow. It's that frustration setting in.
How far do you think you are from being done with the story?
Well, I have to do.
I'm not including that you lost power or whatever. Just saying, like, as from the point that you left off.
Let me think. There are. I think 3 more things that I have to write about. 3 more scenes.
All right.
So I don't know. I think my wife will be doing the proofreading on this one, though.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I have a feeling it's going to be one of those where it's like working all day tomorrow. Just so I can get it, done. I'm a little worried I'm driving to the story, but I'm not sure if I am or not. And yeah, I don't know. It's at that stage where, all the possibilities that I saw at the beginning of the story have become, they're whittled down and down and down. And some of the stuff that I could never quite make work is just lost now. And so then it feels like it's not working, even if it is. It's just, you know what I mean? Like, some of the stuff that excited me, I can't use. So it feels like it's wrong, even if it's not.
Like, can't use because it's not part of the plot and there's no room for it?
Yeah.
Or can't use because it's not appropriate for the plot anymore?
It's just not. I don't know. It's just not going to fit. Put it in my back pocket, save it for later. But it's not working right now. That's why I think a lot of writers never feel like it's done, or they're never really satisfied. It's because they had all these possibilities at the beginning, and then, things, as you start making connections and start making, putting it all together, you realize you had more puzzle pieces than what the puzzle was going to hold. So I always feel like the stories lose their potential, which I guess they kind of do. Because, instead of having potential, they have this is what it is. So that's just where I am. And I'm running out of time, and so I'm getting nervous. It's especially if my computer starts acting up right before it's due.
Gotta find out which one of your kids is finding web or using it for porn websites.
That's probably what it is. They're looking up leggy lamb videos. I'm going to have to ask them that now. If leggy lamb is Easter appropriate.
I don't even know what it is. So
Oh my God!
I'm just sitting here nodding, pretending to like, yeah, okay.
Let me see if I can find. Yeah. At one point in time, one of my children, and I shall not say who.
Well, there's a 50-50 chance I can guess.
Yeah, you can guess all you want. I'm still not going to confirm. Here, let me. I'll present this.
Maybe not.
So that
Like,
you
we don't
can
want to
see
get super struck.
Oh, it's just an image. It's not. It's safe for work. So that is leggy lamb.
Ah.
And once, when my children were young and had tablets, they one of them was rather enthralled with that.
Ah.
So
Waxing on.
it's just one of those things we like to bring up and make fun of, every once in a while. So
Yeah, we've got a situation like that too, but it's not actually like that. It just sounded like it.
oh
Like our oldest, he was like smacking on his sister, and he was all like, "I'm the Master Whacker 3000." So we kind of never let him live that down.
I remember when, before Thaddeus was even born, we were staying in Ohio, and we were living. I think at this point in time, we were living in my aunt and uncle's house, or my wife's aunt and uncle's house, and my wife's aunt was a nurse, and she wore the traditional white, like jumper skirt thing with the hose and everything and the little hat. I mean, just the whole thing every day. That was her uniform.
Yeah.
And when she'd come home, Whit would just waddle on over and just basically just wrap himself around her legs and just stroke her legs because he loved the way the stockings felt. And it was kind of cute at first, but then it was like, okay, that's a little creepy. Let's stop that. So who knows?
Yeah, we've got some. That's one thing about being parents, right? We got some silly ass stories.
Oh, always. Uh-oh. Okay, where'd the real talent go? Uh-oh. Well, let's try to figure it out. Obviously, I'm not drawing. Sorry. Oh, Lord. Yeah, that's right. You have to look at my zoomed in face. I'm going to try to load up Discord, see if Rich is on there. Well, he's not saying anything. Uh-oh. I might have to cut this one early. That's weird, because I thought it was going to be my end that was broken. Let me see if he messaged me on Facebook. I'm trying to find him.
That was fucking weird.
Yeah. Hey, you're back.
It just kicked me completely out, and then it was all like, you have no internet. Like I've got internet everywhere else. my laptop never showed disconnect. Disconnect. Now you are.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, on my screen, you're the swirl of death.
Really?
It's a black screen with a swirl. I can see you in the back room moving around.
Oh, no. I'm looking fine on mine, and I can see your picture now, so. That is weird. I'm wondering how much of a hog StreamYard really is.
I guess we might be cutting this stream short because it's not making much sense right now.
Oh. Yeah, now you're the black. Oh, and now you're gone. Well, I'm going to wait to see if Rich comes back. Huh. Yeah, I don't know what the deal is. Yeah, and I'm trying to message him on Facebook too, just to see if he comes back. But well, I'm going to give it, I suppose, 5 more minutes just to see. I'm sure this is going to make for a thrilling video. Look at me in my glory. But yeah, I mean, if I don't know I don't know if his internet got knocked out again or not, because I don't see him on Discord, and I don't see him on Facebook. So that's a little weird. Try to dance for you. My old white man dance. You know, nice and close, because you're not sure if you can really move around. Trying to look like the groundhog from Caddyshack. That's pretty much it. Yeah. Ooh, he's not even on Discord. He's not on. Well, I think I'm going to call it then. Because kill all the golfers. That's right. Although I recently saw a meme that said I would be an amazing person to golf with because, let's face it, I have no hope in hell of ever getting that ball in a hole. So I'm just there for the nature walk and shit talk. So that could be a stream. Nature walk and shit talk. Yeah, he's not responding to anything. I'm terrified to just kill the stream because then I'm thinking as soon as I do, Rich will pop on Discord or something. But why'd you kill it? And golf is a good walk ruined. Yeah, pretty much. But don't you golf with your dad, Aaron? You and your brother? I never got into golfing. That's for certain. Ugh. Well, my tolerance for 5 minutes is apparently not very strong. Because I'm sitting here going, oh my gosh, this is the longest 5 minutes of my life. Ah. Well, he's back on Discord, I think. Use the force. I'm gonna try. See if he's going to respond. Huh. All right. I guess Rich has got no internet, so I'm going to call this. We'll check you guys out next time. Sorry for the short stream. Let me just add that sneeze in there for you. I will. Well, thank you guys for showing. Sorry for the quick stream. We will be back Tuesday with more of our comic book. If you like what you see here, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Give us a thumbs up, do something, it'd be greatly appreciated. I will see you all later. Bye.